Remember that exit poll question back in 2004? People were asked why they voted, and a certain percentage, I think it was 22% said they voted on moral values. Now, I always ask folks when I talk to them about this, did anybody in this room cast their ballot that year on the basis of immoral values? I'm always looking for the person because I want to invite them out for a drink after if somebody's hand goes up there. And so there was an inclination to check that box. But think about it. The other issues on the list included the Iraq War, education, the economy, taxes, and the environment, and justice. Did that make you immoral? Did that mean that those were not moral values that you're concerned for the economy, for the poor, for education, for the environment, were not moral concerns? They have fixed that exit poll question, but we still need to repair our thinking on the thinking that went into that question, and Jim Wallis's book is a great contribution to that. The end of the religious right, and I too believe the era of the religious right is over, does not signal a decline in evangelical Christianity. It does not signal a decline in the power of religion. On the contrary, if a Catholic may use this term, I think it is the sign of a new reformation among those who are disentangling a great movement from a political machine. And this historic change will require liberals and conservatives alike to abandon their sometimes narrow views of who religious people are and what they believe. David Quo, a good friend of both of ours who worked in the Bush administration, wrote a very powerful book recently, and he argued that there is something wrong with reducing Jesus to a precinct captain, to some get-out-the-vote guy. It just doesn't seem like a very accurate view of Jesus. I am impatient, as I say, with where the religious discourse have been, and I share with Jim the hope that both our political and religious discourse are moving in a very different direction. Yaroslav Pelikan, the wonderful writer, once said that tradition is the living religion of the dead, and traditionalism is the dead religion of the living. And I think those of us who care about our religious traditions accept the fact that religion is necessarily both conservative and progressive. Religion is rooted in tradition, and it survives through the development and change within tradition. It applies old truths to new circumstances. It also re-examines old truths in light of new circumstances. The conservative insists that tradition not be distorted merely to accommodate passing fads and fashions. The progressive insists on purifying and clarifying tradition by freeing it from the distortions and cultural encrustations of the past. The conservative keeps tradition alive by honoring it. The progressive keeps tradition alive by adapting it and sometimes by challenging it. I think the history of American democracy shows that religious conservatives and progressives need each other far more than we know. I think the election of 2008, coming after a long period of profound division in our politics and within our religious communities, will mark the moment when we finally come to understand that truth. Rabbi Jeffrey Sachs has argued that the role of religion is not to divide the world, it is to heal a fractured world. I salute Jim for his engagement in a ministry of justice, a ministry that challenges us all to heal our fractured world.